Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of F123 Driver Career Mode here on the channel. I hope you're all having a great day. We're coming off of our first win of the season in dramatic, rainy conditions in Imola, and we were able to capitalize on it and get the advantage over Aiden Jackson and pick up that first win with Red Bull Ford. Our first win since Season 2 in the Brazilian Grand Prix as well. It's been a hot minute, and we were rolling into now the most prestigious race weekend in Formula 1, Monaco, a track that we have got our first career win in Formula 1 in that second season with Aston Martin. We had a chance to win there last season as well until a late mechanical failure. What can we do today fresh off of the momentum? You know, we go into Monaco, it's all about playing it safe. It's really hard to be aggressive. I don't really think I run a aggressive lap at Monaco outside of qualifying. You go into the Grand Prix, I don't think there's any lap I'm actually giving it 100% because there's just so much risk involved with doing that in Monaco. So, but it works because if I'm aggressive here over a course of a several lap race, I make mistakes, I hit barriers, and over the last game or so, it's really when I've kind of figured it out of just, you know, not driving stupid, just back it down and you're not going to hit things in Monaco and you're actually going to be able to finish a race without damage. So that's the goal today. Honestly, I think podium is a realistic expectation. P6 and P8 for Verstappen and myself in practice, and we're starting to get the upper hand on Max Verstappen, the best driver in Formula 1, so we're starting to put him under pressure and solidifying ourselves as not only a threat to Verstappen, but a threat for maybe a world championship as the season progresses. More teams bringing upgrades this weekend as we roll into qualifying. Ferrari has brought a pretty significant upgrade package, not expecting them to still be up towards the front, but definitely some more pace in them. Q1, pretty straightforward. It's a cruise. Monaco, usually we have a history of, even when we're not in a really quick car, we have a history of qualifying very well here, and of course qualifying is the most important part of a weekend in Monaco. I would run 2 laps, however, in Q1 just to make sure that I was safe, and we would be. We were P8 briefly, and we would end up P10 in Q1 with the McLaren duo of Albon and Jackson on the front row. Verstappen only P8, but Iwasa, Hughes, Zhou, as well as Butler and Mayer all out in Q1. Now into Q2, my first laps would come very late in the session. You see only a minute and a half on the board right there remaining now, but it was an okay first lap here now as we come through that final chicane. I love that chicane, probably my favorite section on the whole circuit, to be honest. We cross the line, we go P4, so very happy with that. I would try to make a second lap and I would find a bit more pace, but then I would have this moment right here. So yeah, that was it, but we were fine. We stay fourth there. As you can see, Leclerc, the last one in over Gasly, Pourchaire, Lawson, Ocon, as well as Felipe Drugovich. So that sets up Q3. I make a lap early in the session. We have 2 sets of softs to use here. We've saved some over the course of Q1 and Q2. My first lap, though, we cross the stripe. We go top of the board. That was very unexpected over Albon and Jackson. We come late into the session. We're still top of the board to start our final run. This was surprising here. So we go down into turn 1, got through there okay, but you can see the time comparison right now. It's relatively even. I give up some time on the entry to the chicane, but we gain all of it and then some back on the exit there. And we're going to go through that long sweeping left-hander, or quick sweeping left-hander, make it work. We gain about a 10th over the course of the next few corners, and it stays about that 10th of a second gain as we go down into the penultimate corner. Can we find a little bit more time? Yes, we do. Another half a 10th in it through the final turn. Got through there very well. Another half a 10th, but we lose a little bit. It's going to be about a 10th and 3/4 almost better, which puts us still, obviously, at the top of the board. But what's the situation going to be? Verstappen goes P2, and there it is. Albon crosses the line to spoil the party. It's going to be P2 in Monaco qualifying. Tsunoda got to 3rd. Verstappen went from 2nd all the way down to 5th after everybody got done crossing the line. But how about Yuki Tsunoda P3, his teammate Piastri in 7th? We're on the front row in Monaco. Can we make it count into turn 1? Let's find out.
A proper road race, and in the true meaning of the word. That's how Mr. Monaco, the late great Graham Hill, once described this iconic event. The cars we drive have come a long way in the intervening half-century, but still we race on those same public roads beside the Mediterranean. There's no victory more coveted than that of the Monaco Grand Prix. We're on the French Riviera once more this weekend at the 2-mile-long Circuit de Monaco. The cars will climb around 40 metres up the hill, past the casino, and then descend towards the harbour through Sector 2. It's a very short run from pole position to the first of 19 corners. And don't expect to see much overtaking here today. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. What a great lap from Alexander Albon yesterday. He'll start from pole position, and Golden Boy completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Tsunoda, Jackson, Verstappen, Leclerc, Oscar Piastri, Russell, Norris, Sainz, Gasly, Teo Pourchaire, Liam Lawson, Ocon, Drugovich, Iwasa, Hughes, Joe, Butler and Calimea. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
What's the goal into turn one, Gary?
The perfect world, we beat Albon into the corner and get ahead and set off into the sunset.
All right, good luck out there and stay safe.
Ready to roll then here as you hear me briefly talking with Natalie Pinkham. It's going to be hards to mediums we're going to do. I want to be off strategy a little bit. Now the mediums to hards was the original. We're going to swap it around though. Hards to mediums as we get ready to roll here for the Monaco Grand Prix.
As the formation lap gets underway, the cars will begin their journey climbing high through the town before dicing down to the harbour side of Monaco. Arguably the most iconic venue on the race calendar due to its setting and, of course, the annual dose of glamour and drama.
Other drivers starting on hards, Charles Leclerc, George Russell, and Carlos Sainz, while Ocon starts on the softs, everybody else on mediums.
We're almost ready to start the race as the cars take their positions on the grid, with the drivers and teams making their final preparations.
Hey, since I won in Imola, am I free to lick the stamp and send it into turn one today?
No heroics, but get what you can here.
No heroics, but get what you can, because we know it's Monaco. Turn one will decide probably everything today, and especially when we're going head-to-head with McLaren. McLaren is so much faster still than us, but, you know, we get the right, conditions like the rain, we can still win. But the reality is, if Albon beats us at a turn one, he will drive off into the sunset. He's got a faster car, and he's on mediums, while we are on the hard compound tire. The question is, how close can we keep Albon to that first pit stop? That will determine the rest of our race here. Now we're ready to roll for the Monaco Grand Prix. 39 laps. It's going to be lights out. We're underway in Monaco. Albon gets a better start than I do. A little bit of wheel spin there on the hard compound tire. Tsunoda's off in third. Verstappen side by side with Jackson into turn one in the background. They're going to be wheel to wheel as we head up the elevation, and unfortunately I just couldn't get Albon, so that sets the tone already. It's now about not, of course, passing him. It's about keeping him as close as we possibly can. Everybody already got things sorted out here throughout this whole pack of 20 cars. The Connor Sport duo of Mayer and Butler round up the back of the grid. Verstappen was unable to pass Jackson, so he stays in fifth place right in front of Oscar Piastri. His teammate as well, Yuki Tsunoda, started third, remains in third. A good start there for the Japanese driver, our former teammate there, and he is really starting to, I feel like, come into his own lately in this F1 career mode now and solidify himself as a threat finally here as we get through this first chicane without any issues. But look at the gap already to Albon. He's already driving off into the sunset, a second and a half down the road. Absolute insane pace that he has lit up here early on. Now the AI do like to use a lot of battery on the opening lap, so I wasn't too surprised that he was driving away, but I was just surprised by how much he had driven away. The gap was nearly 2 seconds as we come through to the line, so I was pretty concerned about that, because if he gets, I would say any more than 5 seconds down the road, we're not going to be able to make up that time with the medium tire at the end, because he will have to go to hards. We'll be on faster rubber, but if he's more than 5 seconds out, it's just not going to happen. We won't be able to run him back down by the time the mediums start to fade off compared to his hard tire. And look at this, by lap 5, reality very quickly setting in on, kind of the objective here. He is now already closing in on 4 seconds ahead, and we got a long ways to go before we're pitting. And now, lap 7, it was a 4.8, 4.9 or so second gap to myself and Albon, and I was, realizing, okay, the reality is already the objective now, really just try to finish second and hope, maybe for a lucky safety car or a mechanical failure or some kind of issue for Albon. It is very hit or miss on if we see a safety car in Monaco in the F1 game. Sometimes we get some chaos, sometimes we don't. It's kind of 50-50 split. You don't really know, so you can't really make any predictions here. Albon, though, coming to lap 10, look at the gap now, 5.8 seconds. He has gone down the road, and the great thing about Monaco is how quickly you can roll through an episode here, because, not a lot goes on. There's not a lot of overtaking. You can see Tsunoda. Jackson stuck behind Tsunoda right now. He is quicker. Jackson's probably quicker than me as well. He just can't get past pass, and Verstappen stuck as well. The defending champion, 4-time world champ now, still looking for his first podium this season. I think it's safe to say Verstappen in a 5th world title is not going to happen this season unless he gets on with it in the next, 2 or 3 races, I would say. He has to start not only getting podiums, but he's going to have to start focusing in on winning races. The Ferrari duo Leclerc Sainz, they brought an upgrade package to this weekend. Russell down in 10th place. Not looking good for him so far. While Norris, of course, runs up there at P7. Outside of the points, so it's Gasly, Porsche, Lawson, Ocon, Iwasa, Drugovich, and then as well JQ, Zhou Guan Yu, Devin Butler, 19th, Cali Mayer at the back of the grid. Now 8.5 seconds to Albon as we came to lap 13. He was absolutely flying now as I just had nothing for him. His pace is insane, dude. I mean, I got nothing for it. I'm giving it everything I have without crashing the car.
Just keep doing what you're doing.
That's all we can do. Keep doing what we're doing, hope for something, because we're not going to beat Albon on pure, downright pace based off the way things are looking. Now the gap nearly 10 seconds as we come to lap 15. Now, he and everybody else on mediums are closing in on their pit window within the next 2 to 3 laps or so. So that's going to be coming here. Jackson, focusing in on him for a brief moment, you can see still stuck behind Tsunoda. Just can't do anything now as he can't really get close enough, and it's just so hard to pass here in Monaco. So nothing out of the ordinary there as we come towards lap 18 at this point. The gap is now extended a little bit further, 9.7. Now it actually went down a little bit to 8.3. I believe Albon had a lockup in one of the corners, and that allowed me to close in, and then he would start to stretch the gap right back out. So it didn't really mean anything at this point. He's still too far ahead for the medium tire that we're going to switch to make enough of a difference to be able to, go and run him down. So lap 19, Albon coming into the pits now. He'll be putting on the hards from the mediums. Now the reason I did the opposite strategy from him to begin with was simply because I was hoping, okay, he'll pit early, he'll get stuck in traffic, I can make up time, put on mediums, be really close to him. That's not going to be the case. Albon is going to come out basically in clean air just about and really not have to fight anything, so that ruins the strategy for me. We'll be coming into the pits this lap. I was hoping to stretch it a bit longer if Albon had to deal with a lot of traffic, but we know he doesn't, so there's really no gain now. So we're going to come into the box this lap here, put on the mediums from the hards. There's a yellow flag, and it's Leclerc. Leclerc's around just before the tunnel, and he's going to be backing up right in the middle of traffic. Verstappen's coming around, and others as well. They're going to stop. Hold on a second. This is the opportunity we might need. Verstappen can't go anywhere. The safety car will be deployed in Monaco, and we're going to dive into the pit lane. I saw that happening. I saw the car stopped. I thought we might get a red flag, but we come in. I had a late turn in because I wasn't even paying attention, but safety car, in fact, deployed. We won't be leading, but now we'll be on fresh rubber, quicker tire, and we'll be right on the back of Alex Albon instead of 10 seconds behind. This is a game changer that we needed, as here's a replay. Watch this. Leclerc, oh my god, I'm surprised it didn't kill the car right there. What in the world is he doing? And Max Verstappen would actually get disqualified from the session for being parked. So not Leclerc getting penalized, Verstappen gets disqualified. Oh my goodness. So we are going to come out behind Albon, and this safety car and madness with a disqualification out of nowhere has really changed everything, because all of a sudden we got a chance at this race. What we have to do, the task is pretty straightforward. We need to pass Albon within 2 to 3 laps. If we don't, he's going to run away, because the reality is, if we get in front of him, we will probably drive away for a few laps, but the mediums will fall off. His hards are going to come in towards the end of this Grand Prix, but he's going to have a very difficult time passing us if we can get in front of him. So we were getting ready to go back racing. Coming to lap 24, Albon's already going there through the final turn. As we get ready to go, we're going to get on that overtake button immediately. We're back racing here in Monaco. Less than 20 laps to go in this Grand Prix. Already a lunge to the left side. He covers it off well into turn 1. He stays ahead now. We're right on the back of that rear wing of Alex Albon up the hill, but look at him using that battery to stay well ahead here. So we would have to follow him throughout the rest of this opening lap off the restart and try to set him up again for the front straightaway. No DRS assistance, but more grip and a quicker tire is the advantage we have, and it might be the only advantage that we need. Out of the final turn, right on the back wing again of Albon, about the same distance between himself and I as the last lap. We're going to take a look. Where's he going to go? He defends right. We can set him up right here out of turn 1. He's vulnerable. We swing to the right. It's not going to happen. He covers it. We go back to the left, side by side, wheel to wheel up the elevation with Alex Albon into the sweeping left-hander, getting the elbows out. What am I willing to do to win Monaco? Well, that's what I'm willing to do. Send it side by side through a section of track track where you don't want to do it. So we managed to go and take the lead of the Monaco Grand Prix, and Alex Albon will fade down into second place. The question is now, how long can we hold him off, as we have a 7/10 of a second gap. We're going to spend the next few laps stretching that gap because of just the downright tire advantage that we have. Lando Norris in 5th place on softs. Unfortunately, it's still not enough pace to go and pass any cars. And now the gap over a second between myself and Alex Albon. We come to 27 laps in, 1.7, 1.8 seconds a gap. We're pulling it as much out as we can. We know it's going to start to go in the other direction soon enough, however, as it was now 2.0 up to 2.4 as we are approaching just 10 laps to go in this Monaco Grand Prix. And well, with 10 laps to go here in Monaco, I would say, you know what, it is going to be time to go through the grid.
What a turn of events here in Monaco. Albon had this race locked up, but the safety car has put Owen in position to win this one.
You have to feel a bit for Albon there. If they kept him out for one more lap, he'd still be in front driving away. Unfortunately, they can't tell that there's a spinning Ferrari on the way.
Lando Norris runs in 5th, just in front of Oscar Piastri. Ted, what you got for us down there?
Yeah, guys, just want to shout out the pace from Aston Martin this weekend. A great qualifying effort from Tsunoda, and he's held on to 3rd all day long. Piastri has had a solid weekend as well. Both cars in the top 6 as we speak. A great day for that team.
And what about Mercedes, Ted?
They've been a bit off today. They were off the mark in Imola as well. Right now, Norris running okay, but Russell is down in 8th. No sign of any forward movement, of course, with how hard it is to pass out there. You got what you got at this point.
All right, thanks, Ted. You see Lawson in 11th, just in front of Drugovich, who seems to love running just outside the points this year.
I'd keep an eye on Drugovich. He's been an impressive rookie so far. We saw what that did for Jackson last year. We haven't heard any silly season news outside of Leclerc so far, but I think Drugovich could be in a good ride next year.
What a race this has turned into suddenly, and we have a chance to win here today in Monaco. The gap, though, was starting to decrease between myself and Alex Albon. Lap 31 coming to 32. You see it's gone from 2.4 down to 2 seconds in through the grid, now down to 1.6, 1.7 second area as we come through to start this 32nd lap of the Monaco Grand Prix. The site that we got our first win in Formula 1 a couple seasons ago. Can we get it again here today for what would be win number 5 of our career? Imagine only 5 career wins, and 2 of them being Monaco. It's not going to be exactly that easy. The gap now less than a second or so between myself and Albon, who's closing in on that McLaren pace, but it's pretty simple for us. This is the number 1 track where you want to have a lead with a slower car, because this is the one track where you can hold them off, because you really only need to get an exit, a good exit, out of one corner on the whole circuit, and that's this corner right here on the right hand of that final turn. You just got to get a good launch, throttle down, drive away, make sure the car's not close enough to pass you with the DRS. 3 laps to go, and we just continue to manage this lead here. Now, of course, the tunnel is a somewhat overtaking opportunity, but it's extremely low odds, and you know the front straightaway is already low odds enough, and it's even lower of an odds through here. So just really surviving, setting ourselves up for that final corner on that front straightaway run. 2 laps to go in Monaco. The gap 0.6 of a second, half a second. Albon's getting closer. We know he's going to drain the daylights out of the battery on this final lap, which is now underway. What a day it's turned into. In Imola, we were able to win through the pace and the rain that we were able to run down our teammate in as well, Aiden Jackson, and pass him late in that Grand Prix after a safety car put us in an awkward spot, or a virtual safety car. Now the roles are reversed. A safety car gave us the opportunity we needed. Without the safety car, we are not in this position to win this Grand Prix. It was going to be a second place result here today, but now with the safety car, it has put us in the opportunity to capitalize, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Albon only 2.5 tenths behind as we come through the final chicane. He is there. He is close. Does he go for any desperation move into the final couple of corners? The answer is no, and all of a sudden, what's been an up and down start to the season is going to turn into 2 back-to-back victories. We're going to come through and win our second Monaco Grand Prix.
Oh, superb driving. That is the race win, my friend. Well done.
Monaco, baby. Awesome stuff. Let's go, Gary.
Thanks, Christian and team. Let's go, guys.
They've done it then. They've won here in Monaco with an emphatic performance and a victory they can be proud of for many years to come. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
What a day in Monaco, and now 2 wins on the season. The most wins we've had in one season was 3, and that was obviously season 2. Can we do more than that now? The momentum is on our side. We don't have a car that's just downright the quickest on pace. McLaren still has that edge. I think we've got the edge over Mercedes now, so I would say it's pretty safe to say we have the second quickest car. But, you know, that could change. I mean, going into the next episode, we go over to North America. We're going to Miami, and then we got my home Grand Prix in Montreal coming up as well. So there is going to be some tests on this car and see, you know, really where we stack up again. And as well, hopefully we can bring a few more upgrades there. Now, something that happened on the last lap, Lando Norris DNF'd, but he actually didn't. He finished the race. It just, I think the game bugged, and it just put him way down the order and classified him as a DNF for some reason. I'm not sure why, but yeah, there's not really anything that we can do about that. So 46 points back. We are closing in the last 2 rounds on the championship battle. Jackson out by 26 on Albon. Verstappen 5th in the standings with the DNF, or the disqualification, I should say here. As you can see, Russell in between myself and Verstappen. Norris just behind. Piastri P7, 2 points ahead of his teammate of Tsunoda, who ended up on the podium today. And we are 101 points back from Red Bull. We still end up losing, we're back from McLaren. We still end up losing points today. That's going to do it for me. I'll see you guys in the next episode in the United States for the Miami Grand Prix. Thank you for watching. Have yourselves a great day.